All right, kids, we are back in the Good Rancher's kitchen. I just got a box of sirloins. I mean, look at this center cut beef tenderloin. It's unbelievable. Beautiful flat center cut. Got to be 8 to 10 ounces here on these steaks. I look for the surfaces that are the widest, and I do the same application. I'm gonna get them air dried, paper dried, a little paper towel, a little dryness on them. Let that air oxidize these bad boys so you can open them up and leave them uncovered in your fridge for a while. That dries them out a little bit, helps that caramelization, and then we'll just add a little oil. Not too much, just a little drizzle. Perfect. You wanna rub that in. That's gonna help add and adhere some of that seasoning. Same thing. These are your proteins, center cut, ready to go, start of the plate. Season up high, even distribution, and they can hold a lot of salt. You want to taste that beautiful beef. Get some pepper in the mill, freshly ground, like so. And you want to go heavy, just like so. All right, we'll flip that over. Do the same on the other side. Make sure the oil's applied. Good amount of salt, pepper. You know, this is the filet. I mean, it's probably the most popular cuts in all of America. People love beef fillets. And look at how clean they are. No trimming. These bad boys are ready to go. It's gonna be tender and delicious. Not a lot of fat on these steaks, so they don't bring the flavor maybe a ribeye does. But if you want something really clean and really delicious and melts in your mouth, this is the king of steaks for that right there. Okay, so all we gotta do now is rub a tiny bit of butter on these steaks. Not too much. This is just gonna help render in that cast iron pan. Melt a little fat down on the edge, prevent the steak from burning. You can do this ahead of time if you want to. The only thing I recommend is making sure your steaks are at room temperature. You don't wanna do this too far in advance where you gotta put it back in the fridge. I don't like applying high heat to steaks, especially that steaks are cold in the middle. So I try to get my steaks out to room temperature, whether I'm grilling or cast iron pan searing, and these bad boys will be awesome and they'll cook really, really fast for you. So over to the stove. All right, kids, let's drop these bad boys in. Good sear, good smoke, that's what you're looking for. You can hear the sound of that pan, it's a sizzle. Sauteing means to jump, right? So it's high heat, cooking very quickly. I got the smoke point in there. I've got my steaks flat. They have a little bit of butter on there. They should be caramelizing nicely. Like I said, you can always drizzle a tiny bit more olive oil if you feel, just to have some in the pan. And these guys, you know, I want them to cook even, so I like to get a good sear on each side, probably about a minute each. Once it sears for a minute, and you've got that crust settled, here's what I'll do. I'll pop them in the oven for 3 to 4 minutes. These are a good 8-ounce steak, just so they kind of cook evenly. You get that nice heat at 350 cooking evenly. I'll pull them out, butter baste them, and you're ready to serve. You just give them a quick little rest and it's go time. That butter should be browning on those steaks a little. I want to check and see in a minute if they got some color. The key with a good filet like this, and honestly a good cast iron sear, this steak is so tender and so delicious and doesn't have so much fat. So I prefer to cast iron this steak, this sirloin steak from Good Ranchers, versus if you put this on a grill, right? Your grill's really hot, your grill grates are really, really hot, and sometimes they get in and they char that filet too much. Those bitter char burns can be a little bitter and they can kind of damage the integrity of the outside of the filet. When you cast iron sear this, you just set the edge of this, flip it, cook it in the oven, and then when you go to serve this, it should be pink from head to toe. And every bite is gonna give you a little crispness, a little edge on it, but the middle's gonna be melted in your mouth. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, I can deal with that. Look at that color on there. A nice, gorgeous little edge. And you've established some good sear right there. My mind is telling me more butter. The story of my life, my autobiography. More butter at Good Ranchers with BeauMac. Let's go. All right, you got it right there. Now, because I got a big pan, I'm gonna use 2 hands. I'm gonna come over to that oven and we'll pop them in. Boom. All right, kids, 4 minutes in the oven. These things will carry back over on the stove. I'm gonna mount in some butter. Don't be shy with it. It is butter basting. Helps kind of coat these things and seal these things in. I'll throw a little sprig of rosemary. Always good to kind of snap that rosemary up and bend it. This kind of releases the oils in the rosemary and you'll really pick up that flavor in the pan. And then of course I got some crushed garlic. And you just let the juices from that beef come down. Come down over here just like this, right? And then that butter kind of melts. It's almost there. It's almost there. And then once you got enough to pick up in your spoon, just start basting your steaks. Start basting your steaks and coating that. And this is how chefs are gonna do it when they pick them up in restaurants for you, fancy steakhouses. You can do it at home and it's super easy. Nice little garlic, nice little brown butter. Couple good base on there. You see that shininess, that beautiful, gorgeous beef from Good Ranchers. Okay kids, we're ready to eat. Look at the color on those steaks. So nice. All right guys, let's bring them over to the counter. Got a beautiful little steaks in there. Like I said, as they're resting, they still kind of carry over cooking. I want to grab my tongs. You know, you take them right out of the pan, let them rest. This is absolutely delicious. That little brown garlic, that butter in there. A lot of chefs will take some garlic, a little mustard, maybe a little demi-glace, some red wine. They can make a little pan sauce using all those beautiful pan bits. Super, super simple. But you can see my beef is resting, and as it rests, all the heat that was cooking in the oven has brought all that kind of blood and juiciness to the center. You don't want to cut that right away. You want to give it time to relax, and as that blood goes back through, that's when you slice up your gorgeous fillets, and you'll have the perfectly red meat from end to end. All right, so we got our beautiful fillets rested. We'll cut through the middle. And we're looking for some gorgeous color on there. Let's just slice that this way. Wow. That's how Good Ranchers does it. Right to your house. Simple and easy. Feed a family so quick and so fast with just simple recipes using great quality ingredients. And everybody in the household is happy. Especially me. And of course, guys, make sure the chef gets a little taste, okay? Melt in your mouth, delicious.